Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a focused look at women in aviation. We'll be using the sources you shared to get past that old view, the male-dominated history, and really explore what's happening now, the opportunities and, the challenges that still exist.
It's fascinating, really, because this whole conversation, it stretches back over a century. Think about Raymonde de Laroche. She got the first pilot's license issued to a woman way back in 1910.
Wow, 1910.
Yeah, and then you have pioneers like Amelia Earhart, Bessie Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
They proved early on that it's about skill, it's about determination. Gender just isn't the defining factor here.
Okay, so history definitely sets the stage. But our sources, they quickly jump to today, right?
Yeah.
And the sheer variety of roles available now.
Exactly.
Looking at that diversification, what's the key thing we're seeing beyond just, the pilot seat?
Well, the big shift, I think, is from women being in some roles to what we could call maybe total operational integration.
Yeah.
It's becoming more widespread.
Integration across the board.
Pretty much. We're seeing women in aircraft engineering, maintenance, air traffic control, safety inspection, running airports. It's not really a question of if women belong anymore. It's about where they're leading across the industry.
Right. And that leads straight into the support structures needed. The sources mention more than just standard company HR policies. They talk about these powerful external groups driving change.
They do.
So is it the internal gender inclusion policies or these big organizations like Women in Aviation International, WI, and ISA Plus 21, the Women Airline Pilots Society? Are they the ones really doing the heavy lifting here?
It's probably a mix, but those specialized organizations, they're critical. Company policies provide a base, sure. But groups like WAI and ISA Plus 21, they build the actual global networks for mentorship, specific training programs, scholarships, things really designed to get women into those highly technical roles or onto leadership tracks. They're basically building concrete pathways where, institutional barriers might still linger.
Okay, so the structural support is definitely growing. We've established that. But the sources also seem to show this gap, right, between the policies saying one thing and what happens day to day.
Yes, that friction is real.
Where are those friction points showing up most clearly for women?
Often it starts with culture. Those old stereotypes, aviation as a man's job, they still hang around.
And that stereotype has knock-on effects.
Absolutely. It feeds into a practical problem. Limited visibility. Fewer women in very technical jobs or senior leadership means fewer role models for younger girls. That definitely impacts recruitment down the line.
And beyond the cultural side, I noticed the sources mention operational stuff too, like the long hours, the international travel.
Yeah.
That must put a real strain on work-life balance.
Exactly. And that pressure can disproportionately affect women, potentially.
Right.
And you add to that, the sources still point out pay gaps and promotion barriers in some parts of the world.
Yeah.
It shows that even with progressive policies written down, structural biases haven't entirely disappeared.
It's one thing to talk about the barriers in data, but the examples of women breaking through, they really make it concrete, don't they?
They really do.
What specific achievements stood out in the sources?
Oh, quite a few. And they're really diverse. You've got Kalpana Chawla, the Indian-American astronaut. Her legacy is huge globally. And there's Captain Shanaz Lagari.
She was noted as the first female pilot in Pakistan flying in a full hijab, right?
That's one. A significant cultural milestone. And then operationally, the sources highlight Ethiopian Airlines' all-female flight crew.
That really shows it's possible, even in complex operations.
Exactly. It underlines the feasibility, the practicality of equal opportunity right there on the flight deck.
So stepping back, the overall story from our sources seems to be one of, undeniable momentum, wouldn't you say?
I think so.
It feels like the future is moving towards more balance, thanks to things like diversity programs, just more awareness, these global campaigns pushing for that full integration you mentioned.
Which raises, I think, a really important point for you, the listener, looking at this dynamic industry.
Okay.
The sources consistently hit this note, whether it's the cockpit, the hangar, the control tower, or, the boardroom. Aviation ultimately needs your voice, your vision, to reach its full potential. So the question becomes, how will you help encourage that next generation of aviation leaders, whoever they are, to join in?
That's a powerful thought to end on. Definitely something to reflect on. Keep exploring the skies.